Hi and welcome to Ryvis Rambles, where I talk about whatever the fuck I want. And in this video, I want to talk about PROMARE, a funny, action-packed sci-fi anime movie. It takes place in the fictional city of Promepolis. Actually, while I'm not entirely wrong, it begins in our universe, in existing cities, and picks up in the fictional city Promepolis 30 years later, where people suddenly start spontaneously combusting, often triggered by emotional outbursts. 30 years later, we follow the protagonist, galo thymos, who's part of a firefighting group, also known as Burning Rescue, which, as the name implies, rescues people from fires caused by the so-called burnish. Burnish are people who have a mutation that allows them to wield flames. However, their abilities aren't very welcome because they tend to cause destruction, so the burnish have to hide their powers. The main antagonist, fotia, is such a burnish. Galo and Leo clash a few times, and each time they meet, they learn a bit more about each other's party, slowly coming to accept each other. In the end, they even have to fight together against a much bigger threat than a burnish. And who or what that is will be revealed in the spoiler section. If you're only interested in my opinion, you can jump to this part. As mentioned before, the movie starts with sudden human combustions, and it more often than not seems to be a last straw that triggers an emotional outburst and then a literal outburst. The people who are capable of bursting into flames are called burnish. It seems to be a mutation that allows them to wield fire, even though they probably couldn't control it in the beginning. The movie picks up 30 years later. In response to the burnish, humanity has created firefighting groups like the Burning Rescue. Firefighters are nothing new, but the way I understood it, the Burning Rescue explicitly takes care of the fires caused by the burnish. Galo Thymos, our main protagonist, is part of the Burning Rescue. One of the Burning Rescue's missions is interfered with by the so-called Mad Burnish, whose leader is fotia. And having two protagonists in opposing teams is just delicious. We have some insane action until Galo, together with his team, manages to capture Leo and his two friends. And no shade, but it literally took 4 people to capture Leo. Just saying. After catching the members of Mad Burnish, another party, the Freeze Force, appears and takes him into custody, which Galo isn't happy about them taking the credit for the Burning Rescue's hard work. Unfortunately, there's nothing he can do about it. But Leo is so super smart, he deliberately allowed himself to be arrested, or so it seems, so he can help other detained burnish to escape. In the meantime, Galo and his crew celebrate their victorious mission at their favorite pizza place, which gets raided by the Freeze Force because the pizza baker is a hidden burnish. He's taken into custody along with the shop owner, who's being arrested as an accomplice. Galo and the others don't think it's fair because the pizza baker has never hurt anyone. This is the first time they witness how truly unjust and discriminatory the system really is. Leo points this out during each of his encounter with Galo. The burnish are people as well, but are neither seen or treated as such.
バーニッシュも飯を食うのか？
僕たちを何だと思っている。バーニッシュも人間だ。食べなければ死ぬ。
While Leo is in custody, he learns that the governor, Cray Forsyth, conducts human experiments on the burnish. He tells Galo about it, who doesn't want to believe it because Cray is like a hero to him. But he gives Leo the benefit of the doubt and confronts the governor, who not only confirms it, but he also shows it to Galo. Apparently, the world is about to be consumed by magma in 6 months, and the governor wants to rescue humanity by teleporting them to another planet, using the burnish's fire as fuel. Galo doesn't approve of this, and the governor shows his true colors for the first time. He can't have Galo interfere with his plan, so he locks him up as a traitor. Unfortunately, the burnish had a mole among them, who rats out their location to the Freeze Force. While all of them get caught again, Leo's 2 companions make sure to save him by blasting him away. Overcome by rage, Leo evolves into a fire dragon and destroys a huge part of the city, including Galo's prison cell. Knowing that Leo won't just destroy the city, but himself as well, is what I'm assuming, Galo stops Leo from fighting against Cray. Galo's crew comes to pick the two up, but since the two are fighting inside the Burning Rescue's craft, they're dropped onto a deeply frozen lake to cool off and discover a hidden research facility where they learn about the governor's past and that the burnish, or rather the flames, are in fact aliens, which the professor named PROMARE. Knowing the full truth, Leo and Galo decide to work together. Conveniently enough, the professor has a mecha prepared that needs to be controlled by a human and a burnish together. It's called Deus Ex Machina, but Galo deems it lame and renames it Leo the Garland, being a true gentleman here by not naming himself first. They fight against Cray, who, plot twist, turns out to be a burnish himself. Cray also has a mecha, and Leo the Garland is no match for him. Cray captures Leo again and continues with his plan, this time with Leo as the engine's core. With the help of his team members, Galo manages to free Leo and defeat Cray. However, he has to perform CPR on Leo, transferring a flame instead of air via mouth to mouth, which he learned to do by watching Leo. Once Leo has regained his senses, he tells Galo he knows how to save the planet from the PROMARE. And they once again enter the mecha, this time under the name of Galo Lilio, name change courtesy of Leo. By allowing the PROMARE to fully combust while protecting everyone else on Earth, they help the PROMARE to go home, like fulfilling a ghost's last wish. Free from the PROMARE, the world has a new beginning, with everyone living happily ever after. PROMARE is one of my all-time favorite anime movies. The insane colors and the sick animation are a feast for the artistic eye. I love the overall style, from the bold shapes to the colored lines. There's action in every frame. It's so over the top that I'd say it's nothing I could recommend to an anime newbie. Even the still shots are super dynamic. This is my favorite shot of Galo and Leo, by the way. This movie has lots of great visuals in general, actually. Aside from the action, there are also a lot of funny scenes, like this one.
じゃあ2人が来なかったら
まあクレーの向こうで地球が滅ぶだけだったね
Or that one.
これは一体どういう作戦だ痩せ我慢作戦だバカかお前は
Now let's talk about the themes. I mean, the plot isn't anything innovative. It's the good guys against the bad guys, who aren't bad actually, and the two parties then join forces against the worst guy. Which leads me to the first theme, grey morale. I guess the only morally grey characters are the Mad Burnish, or Leo to be precise. Since the Burnish are discriminated against, they sometimes have no choice but to act in self-defense, and Leo basically tries to protect the Burnish. So he has no qualms killing others, however not indiscriminately, which they're often accused of, which makes him morally grey in my characters. Which makes him morally grey in my eyes, because who really is to say if a death is justified? I mean, he's not an unbiased party, and who knows, he might have killed innocent people in his lifetime, even if unknowingly. Next, I want to talk about prejudice and the discrimination that comes with it. I understand the caution against and the fear of the Burnish, considering that their son appearance is responsible for the extinction of half of the world's population, but it's been like 30 years and the Burnish are way more civilized now, so time to get over it. Luckily, the more the people learn about the Burnish, the more the people come to tolerate the Burnish. Personally, I'm 100% with Leo, who also happens to be my favorite, because I don't think it's justified to just arrest anyone who's a Burnish if they haven't committed a crime like purposely setting a fire.
奴は僕らバーニッシュを切り刻み解剖しデータを取る同じ人間なのに
Funnily enough, it turns out that their pyrokinesis isn't a mutation, but in fact aliens, i.e. not human. But whatever, the point still stands. Which brings me to the actual bad guy, Cray Forsyth. I love that the movie subverts expectations by having such a heroic character design for him, when in truth, he's the main villain. In hindsight, his name gives it away though. Cray is crazy. He gave me massive Homelander vibes. If you haven't watched The Boys, big recommendation from my side. Anyways, Galo is the glaring opposite. He's a firefighter with a burning soul, as he likes to mention.
一章が完全燃焼燃える火消し魂のガロティモス様だ見せてやるぜ炎の火消し魂
それがいるんだ君の火消し魂が乗ろうもう一度
It seems rescuing people is his vocation, which is why he doesn't kill Cray, because he wants to save him as well. And thanks to his undying determination, the ever-burning flame that is his soul, he succeeds. But he doesn't only spare Cray, he also brings Leo back to life by literally lighting a fire, which goes against his nature. And I love the movie for not taking the homophobe route, which I at first thought Galo's reaction would be, but it luckily wasn't.
お前が助けてくれたのか
バカ野郎お前のせいで俺は生まれて初めて火をつけちまったじゃねえかどうしてくれんだこのいやバカ野郎
Not only because this isn't a kiss, it's just CPR, it's just CPR. Just CPR. But also because Galo is fucking gay. And in love with Leo. At first, I didn't want to kiss the At first, I didn't want to mention the non-kiss with Aina as proof, because I thought it wasn't strong enough. But on second thought, the movie only has so little time to introduce the characters, and chose to show us Galo not kissing a girl that could have easily been his love interest. And all jokes aside, CPR is CPR. I don't like the CPR equals kiss trope, but look at this.
僕の全てを燃やすという衝動と俺の人を救って炎を消す二つの石が一つになるとき
This is not a coincidence. This anime works so much with shapes. They know what they did. So if that doesn't prove that Galo and Leo are in love, then I don't know what does. Oh wait, I do. In Promepolis, we don't say I love you. We say...
だったらいっそ地球を燃やし尽くそう
Gosh, if straight stuff was that romantic, I might actually like it. And lastly, we have this.
あと勢いがあれば
I have nothing smart to say about this. I just wanted everyone to see it. How about you? Have you watched the movie? Have you seen the signs? Do you share my sentiments? Let me know in the comments below. If listening to random people talking about random stuff on the internet appeals to you, leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any topic you'd like to hear me ramble about, leave your suggestions in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye!